I want to speak with Barbados, Eastern Caribbean. Those of you listening internationally, I think by now it is clear that Marcia is quietly being surgically targeted by the powers that be in Barbados. A lot of you know Marcia as a filmmaker, cultural voice, one that stands up and speaks to the issues that are happening, not scripted, real lived experiences. And because of that, Marcia is now, and I said it before, I'm going to say it again, being quietly, surgically targeted by the powers that be on the island of Barbados. Why is this so? Well, it's simple, like what I said. She's interfering with the narrative machinery on the island. And this is happening at a time when Barbados is undergoing what I would call deep integration into the globalist agenda. And so voices like Marcia, who is strong, who is sharp and independent, unfiltered, they're seen as threat vectors. That's right. And the powers that be, acting not alone, but under the guidance of external stakeholders, is making sure that Marcia is neutralized before her influence spreads wider. This may be deep for some of you to take in, but I'm going to break it down a bit for you. You see, Barbados is undergoing what I call a cultural subversion by the globalist narrative. And Marcia Weeks is seen as a dangerous individual to the powers that be. Not because she's loud, but because what she's doing and what she's saying is speaking truth to power. And her programs on a nightly basis dive into, like I said, real human struggles. She speaks about corruption in society, institutional rot, and she talks about spiritual awareness. These are not themes that globalists like. And they're also a challenge to the artificial reality that is being constructed in Barbados under the Shellnet regime. I spoke about Shellnet in a former video. I'll put a link to that video in this description so you go listen to that for yourself. Barbados, under the globalist agenda, is undergoing cultural sterilization. Shout out the voices that raise awareness. And Weeks, my friend Marcia, doesn't play by those rules. Just like myself, she creates her programs from lived experiences, not scripted compliance like many others that you see. And that makes her a problem. And so, my friends, over the coming weeks and months, you will see what my friends and I speak about all the time. Soft erasing, not arrest, because if you arrest someone like Marcia, that's going to amplify her. So we don't do that. You're not going to see the deep seated censorship where she'll be totally banned from YouTube. You can't do that either. That will cause even more problems. What you're going to see is soft censorship. So let's bug that computer, you know? Let's create a problem so we can't get in even with your own passwords for 2 and 3 days. That just frustrates you. And then you will see administrative suffocation by the powers that be. All of this, I've seen the playbook before, where you have legal and bureaucratic weaponization by the powers that be. Sometimes what they do, and this is their major playbook, over a period of time, they grind you down slowly. And you will wake up one morning and you find yourself with things like, you know, audits out of nowhere. Yeah, I've seen it before. See yourself with sudden zoning issues. You apply for permission to do something somewhere, a venue, and all of a sudden it was just good before, and all of a sudden you take weeks and sometimes months. Sometimes they just don't give you permission anymore. I've seen it before with other friends who are in this business. And You wake up one morning and this is the most funny part. You'll find yourself with mysterious rejections. And I call it mysterious because it has to be mysterious. How could people who know you over such a long period of time just ignore you out of just not no thin air? Find yourself with that too. There are a lot of things that will come up in the mix. But you know what my friends call this in this business? I learned this when I studied in Washington. They call it the velvet guillotine. It's a quiet campaign to drain your resources, to destroy momentum, to discredit you. That's right. Without ever making it look like an open repression is going on against you. That's how they do it. I've seen it before. And in Marcia's case, her productions, her nightly programs will, I tell you, suddenly become what I like to put a bureaucratical entanglement. You will find out what that means one of these days. Those of you who are viewing this video. You see, for the globalists, for the powers that be, people like Marcia attract the wrong kind of attention. She has a growing audience, both in Barbados and in the diaspora. And this group includes people like disenfranchised youths. You heard a lot of them on a program recently talking about the wiretapping bill. My friends, she has a lot of people in the faith-based community, look at her programs. You can tell there's a lot of whistleblowers and cultural historians who are attracted to her program. Yeah. And there are a lot of people who are suspicious of what the powers that be is doing with the future of Barbados. And they're also attracted to her programs. And when you look at that, you can see why she would become a threat and why she should be silenced. I will tell you, I've watched many of the programs lately, and I can tell you her recent works have a lot of reference to the surveillance that is happening within Barbados, the social manipulation, the economic inequality, and the spiritual degradation, I would say, in some cases. These are topics that the globalists and the powers that be in Barbados wants to be buried by any cost. I say today for Marcia, and tomorrow for you, and yours sometimes will be worse than hers. I can tell you that. Because while she's a voice, and the powers that be will feel threatened to amplify the repression of her because that will cause a backlash and for more people to rise up like her, your will be worse than hers because you're not that figure like her. Think about it. Keep saying to you, don't speak up today. Tomorrow, it's going to be you. It's going to be worse. You know, I am worried for my friend. I'm worried for my friend. I had a friend in Qatar, and those places, and he found himself with financial accounts being frozen. He lost access to platforms and social media. He even had visa issues. Someone who never committed a crime. No crime. Absolutely none. Just speaking. And they never found anything to charge him to say it was libelous, yet he went through all of that. Very worried for my friend Marcia. Transformation of Barbados into a globalist laboratory state is well underway. People like Marcia is breaking that code, and we have to help her break that code. People will tell you that it will happen whether we like it or not. Doesn't mean in the meantime that we can't stand up be counted for something. There's some elements to this whole thing, why Marcia is being targeted. Marcia Weeks is being targeted not because she's loud, but because she's effective. She creates without permission and speaks without code, and she believes without compromise. That is why she's being targeted. Stay strong, Marcia. We are all in your corner. Share this video far and wide. Let's take a stand. Let's make a stand today and ensure that you are there on Saturday at that protest as well. Take it easy, my friends.